Hello everybody, this is Ben Hillard reporting to you from Barnes & Noble in San Antonio, Texas on June 16th, Sunday, June 16th, 2013. I think that's the right date. I'm not sure, I'm never quite sure. But yes, I am here in Barnes & Noble amongst such classics as Knit Your Own Dog, 50 Ways to Kill a Slug. Also gonna start, not gonna buy it unfortunately, but starting The Fault in Our Stars by John Green in order to play chaperone to my brother who is across the road with his particular someone who he's going on a first date with today. But just killing time, and yeah, I don't know. What am I talking about? Okay, I'm here in Barnes & Noble. It's about 3 or 4 weeks since the school... No, it's not. It's about 2 or 3 weeks after the school year has officially ended for me. I took a Maymester, so I got to stay a little bit longer. Technically, these vlogs are a follow-up on the series that I did with the New Year's resolution project. So we're just going to kind of start off on that, and just kind of start off on those subjects and see where this all ends up. Today I want to talk about 2 things that are hard, and those both have to do with doing things. The biggest thing is still doing music. So I'll be sitting there. I'll be thinking about music, enjoying myself. I hear a piece of music I particularly like, and I'll come with this great idea, and I'll be like, hey, I should write that down and make it a piece, because it would be so much fun, and that would be something I'd love to conduct. I usually rate how I like a musical idea by how much I'd like to conduct it. And with that idea, I'll go and sit in front of the computer. I'll write out part of the idea, and I'll get stuck. There's a feeling, it's almost like if there's anything such as good vomit, I have these ideas that I want to spill out of my mouth and just speak to the world, and then I start doing it, and it's like, ugh! And then it just stops short because I go and do something else because I get distracted, but for some reason I can't quite pin down. I'm just afraid of doing stuff with music. And I also don't practice nearly as much as I should, which is bad because I need to practice to stay in school. I'm sorry if I suddenly get quiet. There's still people walking around and I'm still really self-conscious in public, so bear with me. But yeah, I need to practice to stay in school, although I do know my scales now. That is good. For some reason, it's just hard for me to write. And that's really sad, because I think I'd really like writing. I can come up with really cool ideas in my head, but I have difficulty just putting them down on paper. I just gotta sit down and start messing around with stuff, and we'll see what happens. More on that as it comes. The second thing that I'd like to talk about doing is waiting, specifically waiting on people in restaurants. I just recently got a job at Jim's. If you've never been to Jim's, or if you're not from San Antonio, it's very similar to IHOP or to Denny's as a waiter, and it scares the crap out of me. I've been in training for 3 days. I've been out on the floor learning how to wait tables, but I mean, it's difficult and it's hard. Very high stress job. I think the biggest thing that's hard for me, or that I'm scared of, is forgetting the menu and getting people's orders wrong, because if you get their order wrong, then they're unhappy, and your job is to make them happy, and if they're not happy, then you don't get paid, which is a problem, and especially since tomorrow I start working for tips, so I need to figure that out quick. But they tell me I'm doing okay, and I'm getting better as I go, so that's good. But yes, waiting is an extremely difficult job, because you're there, you have to know all of this stuff, you have to know everything about the food that these people are going to eat before they know it. Some of these people come all the time, and they know the menu better than probably the people who wrote the menu, which is intimidating to someone who doesn't know the menu, like a new recruit to the waiting staff. The tip for you restaurant goers: if you feel like your waiter tried to make your experience as accommodating and as positive as possible, I strongly and personally beg you to tip them, because those people work off of tips. I get paid $2.16 an hour, which is not a living. I only make my money off of tips, especially after taxes, because my paycheck will usually end up being 0 after those. So tip your waiters, be generous, and love the people that are trying to make your day happy. So that's it for me. I am going to sit here, finish my Chipotle, read The Fault in Our Stars. I'm going to go see Star Trek, and that's it. Ben Hillard, signing off. I'll see you next time.